Hey, what is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video on the My Stock Journey channel. So before we get into the video, I did just want to say ignore my face, the bruises, the scratches, the cuts. One of my coaches is getting ready for a UFC fight, and so that has a lot of training to go along with it and a lot of long days of getting my butt whooped. So, don't worry about me. Don't think I'm getting beat up or anything like that. I'm just training. I'm an MMA fighter. And so, we go through it every now and then. It won't be the last time y'all see me all bruised up, so don't worry. So about a month ago, I posted a video going over exactly how much I get paid for my portfolio. Well, now that it's been about a month and I have a lot more holdings in my portfolio has gone through a lot of changes and it's grown in about $2,000 to $3,000. I figured it'd be a good time to go ahead and check out to see exactly how much that number has changed. That video did very well. I think it did over 2.2 thousand views. So I know you guys do like to see it. I know a lot of you guys did subscribe to me and discovered me from that video. So I figured it'd be, in my best interest to go ahead and put out another video about it and basically explaining how that number of, how much I get paid in dividends every year has changed since then. And so we're going to go ahead. We're going to get straight into it. If you do enjoy this video, don't forget to smash that like button. Drop a comment for any future suggestions for videos that you would like to see. I'm posting a lot more on the channel and I'm trying to get a video out every other day. So if you have any suggestions and videos that you would like to see, definitely let me know down below. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and let's get into the video. So before we take a look at the exact numbers, I figured what would make your lives a little bit easier if I could put it all in a pie chart just to break it down and you can see exactly how much each one of my holdings plays a factor in how much I get paid in dividends every single year. So to start off, we'll start from smallest to biggest. We'll go ahead and we'll take a look at ARKF. So ARKF is one of the newer holdings in my portfolio. They are not a dividend paying company in regard to like paying a lot. They do have a little small dividend that they pay. I think it's like 0.7, 0.8%. So they only take up 0.6% of my annual dividend income. Next up on the list, we have Microsoft. Now, this actually did surprise me because Microsoft is a big player in my portfolio, but if you do go ahead and take a look at their dividend payout, it's not that much. They take up only 4.4% of my annual dividends. Apple is next up on the list. They pay out 6% of my annual dividend income. That was a little bit more of a surprise for me, but honestly, seeing the growth that Apple has every single year, I'm honestly not concerned about the dividend payout. The dividend is just a little extra, cherry on top for the growth of my year. Next up, we have Aflac. Now, Aflac's going to take up 9.3% of my annual dividend income. And that's honestly pretty right on. Aflac is one of the companies that I did initially invest in, looking more towards the dividend side. I'm honestly going to hold on to them because I do believe that they have potential for growth. I feel like they're very stable and established, and I do feel like that dividend is very, very safe. So I'm definitely going to hold on to them and try to maybe get that dividend income to maybe 10 to 15%, a little bit higher would be nice. And lastly, before the big one, we have Coca-Cola. Now, Coca-Cola takes up 20% of my annual dividend income. That's exactly where I wanted it to be. Coca-Cola is a very major player in my portfolio, and I did want to make sure that they were still paying that dividend and that they paid a good bit to my, they played their part, right? And so Coca-Cola pays, once again, 20% of my annual dividend income. And last up, we have Store Capital, which takes up 59.6% of my annual dividend income. This actually does not surprise me at all. If you are new to the channel, you may not know, but if you have been around a while, you do know that Store Capital takes up a very massive part in my portfolio. They pay a very good dividend. I feel like they have a lot of high potential and growth. And it's just an all-around company that I would recommend to anyone. I'm actually sitting at a 50% return from my initial investment in only the course of 3 or 4 months. So that plus the amount of dividends that they pay every single year is definitely very nice, and it feels very, very, satisfying seeing these types of numbers being brought in every single year from such a great company. So now we will go ahead and we will jump straight into the statistics on exactly how much I get paid from each one of these companies. I'll do a small breakdown on how many shares I have, how much they pay out, and what the percentage of the yield of cost will look like from them. So first up on the list, we have Apple. Now I have 9.5 shares in Apple. Apple's sitting at its current stock price of about $499. My average cost is $415 per share, which is giving me somewhat of around a profit around $800. Now, one thing I will say about this website is that the profit loss does tend to be a little bit off. I just feel like it might update a little bit late. So with that being said, I'm just going to kind of take that profit loss with a grain of salt and kind of move on past that. So the current dividend yield for Apple is 0.66%, but since I did buy them at such a lower average cost, that my dividend yield is 0.79%. So that makes my annual income $31.16. So next up, we have Aflac. Now, I currently have 43.33 shares of Aflac. Aflac's current stock price is sitting at $37.13, but my average cost is only $34.62. That little gap between my average cost and the current stock price has brought me in a profit of somewhere around $108. But the dividend yield for Aflac is currently 3.02%. Once again, since I did buy in at a bit of a lower average cost, my current yield on cost is 3.24%, and that means that I get paid out $48.53 every single year from Aflac. Next up, we have the small piece of the pie, and that is ARKF. Now, I have 10.64 shares of ARKF. The current price of ARKF is $40.38, but my average cost is $35.22. That's brought me somewhere around a return of about $54, which is absolutely phenomenal. That's over 13, 14, 15% in that playing field. Now, the funny thing about ARKF is they only pay a 0.75% dividend yield, but since I did buy in at a lower average cost, I get a 0.85 dividend yield, and so that pays me a whopping grand total of $3.20 every single year from ARKF in dividend. Next up on the list, we have Coca-Cola, and once again, this does pay 20% of my dividend income, so we'll go ahead and take a look. So I have 63 shares of Coca-Cola. The current price of Coca-Cola is $49.83. My average cost is $45.31, so there's a bit of a gap in between those two, which leads to a $286.07 return on investment so far from then, which is very, very nice. Currently, the dividend yield from Coca-Cola is 3.29%, but since I did buy them at $45, I'm looking at a 3.62% dividend yield, which brings me around $103.80 every single year. Now, that's an absolutely phenomenal, amount. I do like the fact that I'd like these dividends to pay somewhere around 3 to 4%. So I feel like $103 every single year is very fair. If we break that down into each quarter, that's about $25 every single quarter, and I definitely cannot complain about that, as that will bring me about half a share for free every single quarter at the moment. Next up, we have Microsoft. So I have 11 shares of Microsoft. Microsoft current price is sitting at $228.91. I bought in at $199.16, which is giving me a profit of around $336. Now, the current dividend yield on Microsoft is 0.89%. Once again, since I did buy in at $199, since the average cost of mine is going to be a little bit lower and they haven't changed their payout amount, that basically means that my percentage on my yield on cost is a little bit higher, just to clarify one more time. But my current yield on cost for Microsoft is 1.02%. So that gives me $23.05 every single year, just for free, basically. These dividends are not anything that I'm relying on as income. This is basically just extra money that I'm receiving that I will then reinvest into these companies or the company that I choose at that point in time. And it's definitely nice to just get a little bit of extra cash every now and then. It gives you this feeling of satisfaction, and it feels like, man, passive money is the best money. And so I definitely love to keep seeing these dividends grow. And as I keep reinvesting money into these companies, it's really nice to see the amount that I'm getting paid in dividends grow every single month. Last but not least, for sure, we have store capital. Now, if you do remember, I do believe the number was about 60% that store capital takes up in my annual dividend income. I have 221.21 shares of store capital. The current price of store capital is $27.06, but my average cost is $18.47, which is absolutely golden. That's about a 50% return right there. I'm looking at a return of $2,019.65. The current dividend yield on store capital is 5.07%, but since I bought store capital at such a great price, my dividend yield on cost is actually 7.58%, which is insane, which pays me $309 every single year just for owning the stock. Right? And that's just crazy just to think that I've already made $2,000 just from the growth of the value of the stock. And on top of that, I get an extra $300 every single year, which equates to, I'm not even sure how much that is. It's probably about 13, 14 shares that I could be buying for free every single year if the stock price was at what it is now. And that's just absolutely amazing. I'm definitely expecting a lot of compound growth from this stock. Just seeing how much it's grown over the last month or two, plus that 7.58% dividend. I'm definitely looking forward to about 2 or 3 years from now, just seeing how much it's grown. I don't plan on investing any more into store capital over the next couple months, simply for the fact that I'm very comfortable where they are. So seeing that 7.58% dividend yield come in every single year is just going to be absolutely amazing. So it is time for you to find out what you have been waiting for. How much do I get paid every single year from my $19,650 stock portfolio? So if I do go ahead and pull up this screen right here, you can see that for my $19,658 stock portfolio, I'm currently sitting at a gain of $3,707. The dividend yield that I would currently be receiving is 2.67%, but that is considering what the dividend yield is at for these companies right now. Since I did pay a little bit of a better average on all the companies I own, my current yield on cost is 3.29%, and my annual income is $525. Now, if you do remember my last video, the amount that I got paid from my dividends was a little bit more. The reasoning behind this is that between then and now, I have actually basically just changed up my my entire portfolio. I went a lot more into growth stocks, and I felt like growth stocks are what's going to be set me up for the future a lot better. Considering I do want to be in this game for another 20 to 30 years, I felt like now is the time to be focused more on growth and value investing and save dividend investing for a little bit later in life. So with that being said, I am definitely still not going to complain about a 3.29% dividend yield. Of course, that does come a lot from Store Capital, but hey, it is what it is. They're an amazing company, and even if they didn't pay their dividends, I would still be invested as much as I am into them. And 3.29% isn't bad. Whenever I was just solely a dividend investor and that's all I cared about, I focused more on about 4 to 5%. So seeing it not be that much lower than that is just absolutely phenomenal. That means if my portfolio only, say, if it didn't even grow, I could still use my dividends to keep up with inflation, meaning the value of my portfolio really wouldn't be depreciating at all every single year, contingent upon the fact that these companies don't, stop paying dividends or anything like that, which I truly don't believe they would. And, it's an absolutely amazing feeling. It's really nice to know that I have a lot of faith in these companies, and I truly believe that they'll continue to pay these dividends over time. And so with that being said, it's truly just it's a great feeling knowing that it's just extra money. It's honestly extra money. Of course, I have to pay taxes on it, but even after the taxes, I'm still making profits. And so even if my portfolio performs poorly one year, say it only performs 3 to 4%, I'm still receiving another 3.2% that will get me up to the 7-8% range. And it's just for free. It's honestly just free passive money. And the only thing that it took from me was working really hard at my job to go ahead and make this money. And then I let it work for me and passively create more wealth and, set me up for the future. If you guys did enjoy this video, definitely let me know down below. You can also let me know by smashing that like button. I was definitely I didn't know how I felt about making another one of these videos over again, considering I had already made one. But I felt like since my portfolio had went through so many changes that it would be a little bit justified and kind of wanting to break it down one more time. Let me know what you guys want to know about that. If you guys do feel like, hey, maybe you want to see how much it makes a year every single month, and every time I start adding stocks, how it changes that $525, definitely let me know down below. I have no problem making the content that you guys want to see, because that is truly what drives me. Seeing the support that we're getting. We just hit 399 subscribers the last time I checked, about 10 minutes ago. Maybe by the time I post this, I'll have 400. Who knows? I hope so, but hey, if not, it is all good. I just appreciate having the guys, the guys and the girls who are watching these videos. I just truly appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. This channel's growing so much, so fast, and it's a little bit overwhelming sometimes, but honestly, I'm just kind of going with the flow, and I'm just taking it day by day. If you did enjoy this video, once again, don't forget to smash that like button, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.